and welcome to part 3 of the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast Trivia Tilt Extravaganza.
You want to say trivia one more time?
That's a trivial comment. I am your effervescent host, Davo, in last place in the Trivia Tilt, so feeling a little salty. For Game 3, Round 3 in this Best of 5 series, I must prevail today or be eliminated from this tournament in my heart. Maybe not mathematically. Don't tell me the numbers. But with us today...
That's too much like science, isn't it?
You know, you don't want all the salt I've got coming on here. Come on.
Whoa, hand.
I got some salt here. I got my eyes on both of you, Kels and Neil. Say hi to the people.
Hello, people.
Hello, everyone.
Our guest MC, bringing the dope trivia, dropping the tracks like they're hot, is Andrew.
Hey, everybody. Was I supposed to bring?
Hi, Andrew.
Was I supposed to bring dope?
No, just dope trivia facts.
Oh, okay. I'm
just
with you.
Keep the trivia dope.
I'm on board.
Just say no to drugs, everybody.
So, before we begin, a couple of points of order. One, thank you all for listening to our wonderful little show. We are very grateful for every listen, download, and stream that we get. Secondly, there is a certain matter of super secret double probation that we need to address.
Yes.
Now,
Yes,
it has come to my attention that you, Andy, wish to appeal your super secret double probation.
I do.
On what grounds?
Because I'm right and all of you are wrong.
Strong
how much
words.
simpler I can be for you.
It's hard to argue with that logic.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to argue with that, but please lay out your case.
The issue is, are the albums that Chicago released not named but numbered? And a listener wrote in and suggested that Chicago's first album was not numbered. It was named Chicago Transit Authority. And you guys agreed with this listener without doing any research or possibly checking with me.
So are you saying that's not true?
That's not true. And let me explain to you this way. The war that started between Germany and France that eventually...
Can we start a little bit closer to 1969?
You know
what war I'm talking about there, Neil? What war is that?
That would be the Great War.
The Great War, right. And then there was World War II, and we call the Great War...
Yeah, we retronymed
World
it to
War One. Yeah,
World War I,
yeah. Chicago released their first album under Chicago Transit Authority. They did not choose to shorten the name. The CTA actually sued them. And since then, they've never had it. Now they've always been albums one after another. Some are numbered, some are not. But the audiophiles, keep track of it by their number, just in the same way. Led Zeppelin 4 is called Ruins. The Beatles never recorded a white album. The album's technical name is The Beatles.
The Beatles.
Right.
Yeah.
Duran Duran's 1993 album is technically called Duran Duran, but we call it the Wedding Album. I put it to you, I am correct.
The issue isn't whether or not you refer to them by their numbers, it's whether they're actually named numbers. And what's the official name of their second album?
Ooh, I'd have to look that up. I believe
It's Chicago.
Right.
It is it's just Chicago.
But we refer to it as Chicago 2.
But
But what was it released?
Chicago. What was their fourth album, which was a live album called?
Oh, good question.
I know the answer.
What's that?
It's Chicago at Carnegie Hall.
That is correct.
Carnegie
It's not
Hall.
Chicago 4. And then
So let
let's
me get this
see.
straight. You guys don't even know what album Yellow Submarine is on, but you've got
that's
the
just me.
entire catalog.
That's just me. I am very purposely staying out of this.
Really, Sergeant Pepper?
What about so Chicago 12 isn't a thing? Hot Streets is though, right?
All right.
I'm just saying. I don't have a
I
dog
will
in the
say
fight.
that possibly there's two opinions on this issue.
We don't deal in opinions.
Lay them out. This is your probation. So. You go into all the detail
Honestly,
you need.
I had prepared to argue about the Beatles, not the Chicago album thing. So I'm a little off guard here. I have notes on the Beatles.
Well,
Wow.
quite frankly, if I may, my fellow Brain Ladler colleagues, it is the ruling of the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast that your probation be reduced to super secret single probation.
What's the difference?
Should you? The difference is
The number.
one is numbered and one isn't.
You can still call it double probation, like you misnamed the Chicago albums.
Wow.
But it was
Wow.
released. It's released as just
Okay. Okay. All right.
We will now retroactively call this probation 2.
Sorry. Just a second here. I'm looking at my screen. I had two sets of questions, nice ones, mean ones, and there we go. I'm ready.
So now that those formalities are out of the way,
Yeah, I'd like to propose that the Chicago album topic is now officially dead, and we don't need to revisit it.
I will agree
I
with
feel like
that.
it's settled. I feel like it's
good.
settled.
Good.
Still not comfortable with Yellow Submarine being on Sergeant Pepper.
I'm
Well,
not
yeah.
comfortable either.
We'll have to take that outside with Davo, because Kels
Yeah,
got it right.
And
Yeah,
Davo
I
doesn't
was-
get double secret. All right. That's
Double secret what?
probation.
I thought no, it's called probation 2. That's what we
Okay.
call it.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo. I will accept that. I'm ready to move on.
Excellent. Neil, can you give us the rules
fantastic.
of the contest?
Sure. Every week we have a overall topic. Within that topic, there are 6 categories of 4 questions each. Each question is worth 10 points. There may be additional bonus points thrown in. And then there's a final question where we can bet all or none of our points or anywhere in between. And this is the 3rd episode of our one-on-one challenge that Davo's currently losing. Is that right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Making sure.
Oh, yeah.
Just rubbing it in.
Thank you. So, Andy, what is our topic today?
I'm giving you the bird.
I feel it.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. That's the topic. This is for the birds.
Oh.
Is the topic.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how I
Birds.
came up with the idea, actually, in my car listening to you guys. The topic is this is for the birds. And this will be all things relating to birds. So let's get
knew
rolling.
where it was going.
We've wasted our listeners' time long enough. Our first category in the bird category is Top of the Pops. These are all categories relating to hit songs, or all questions relating to hit songs. So our first question is Free Bird. It is possibly the coolest thing you can scream while holding a lighter at a concert. This power ballad was written by Leonard Skinner for their 1973 debut album, which the album was titled Pronounced Leonard Skinner.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they choose a name that was so hard to pronounce? Where did the name Leonard Skinner come from?
I'm locked in.
Oh, my God. Neil?
Wow. Wow.
Everybody knows that.
No.
No, they don't. No.
I'm locked in.
All right, I'm locked in.
All right. I think Neil locked in first.
He locked in before you asked the question. I don't know how
Yeah,
he
that
did
was kind of creepy. Yeah. Your answer, Neil?
The band was named after, I believe his name was Leonard Skinner, who was a PE coach, I think. or he was a coach at their high school.
Okay, and Davo?
I wrote down they were named after a roadie named Leonard something.
Is the last name really something? Da? Is that how you pronounce the last name?
Well, it's Dutch. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kels.
Dutch like Van Zandt.
I just wrote down they picked it out of a hat.
Neil is correct. It is Leonard Skinner, who was their PE teacher at Robert E. Lee High School.
I even know why they were kind of teasing him with the name.
Oh, go ahead.
Because he used to give them a hard time about their long hair.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So it was kind of a protest.
Exactly.
So,
did you tour with the band? What the hell is going on?
This sounds like an awesome trivia nugget right there.
I prefer trivia nougat, but nugget works for me.
Nougat at the center of every good question.
Yeah.
Nougat.
All right, for our second question. This hit that topped out at number 4 on the Billboard Top 100 charts in 1963 uses the word bird in its lyrics 72 times in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. There's also a bonus point attached to this if you can name the artist. And I want to make this clear at the beginning. I am only accepting the song's proper name.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in too.
I'm locked in.
All right, Neil answered first. What's your answer, Neil?
I think the word is Surfin' Bird, and I don't know who it is that sang it.
And Neil or and Kels?
I wasn't comfortable with writing this down because pretty sure it's not correct, especially after hearing Neil's answer. A common theme to the show. But I wrote down the bird's the word.
And Davo.
I wrote down bird is the word, and the band is the Crickets because that sounds like a band from 1963.
Okay,
and Buddy Holly and the Crickets. I know.
Yeah,
I know Buddy Holly and the Crickets.
Okay.
And I know all about that. It's comedy.
Okay. Was it?
I try, okay?
Okay. Niels is correct. It is Surfin' Bird. And the band is the Trashmen. The bird is the word is the most common phrase in the song. That's why I had to be specific.
Well, they should have named it that then. Surfing Bird's a dumb name. Just call it Bird's the word. God.
You gotta be so artsy.
No one's going to remember that except Neil.
All right, next question. Sweetheart of the Rodeo is considered by most audiophiles as the first major country rock album in history. What band did Graham Parsons join for this one album to produce it?
I'm going to lock in with this. I'm locked in.
I'll lock in with something too. I don't know this one, but I have a guess.
The whole question felt like gibberish, but I wrote something down. I recognize nothing in the question, so yeah, I'm locked in.
Davo, you locked in first?
I did. So I was trying to logic it out, and going with the theme of the show, I was thinking of a band that had kind of a rockin' sound that would blend well with country, with a country vibe. So I went with the Eagles.
And Neil?
So I was confused at first because I think there's a country duo called Sweethearts of the Radio, but I figured that didn't really fit what you were saying. So I don't recall that song, but thinking back to the theme of the contest, I went with the Birds.
And Kels?
I had no idea and didn't want to come up with a specific bird, so I just had the Birds.
Davo is the only one to take the bait for the wrong answer. It is indeed the Birds.
Oh my God. And Kel's logic is, I didn't want to use a specific bird. And he's right.
I was thinking about a bonus point for this one, but I think I had too many bonus points. But I'll throw it out there just for fun. How do you spell birds?
With a Y.
With the Y, right?
With a Y. Very good. Okay.
Don't care.
Our last question in Top of the Pops, and my favorite of all these. In the final scene of the video for Mr. Mister's 1985 hit Broken Wings, the lead singer Richard Page is next to what kind of car that has its hood up, symbolizing broken wings? And for the bonus point, what year is the car?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Okay, Davo locked in first, then complained.
Yeah, that's gonna be a running theme,
kind of a theme
for this
okay.
episode.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah. I said a Firebird, and I said 1969 because that sounded cool.
Because Davo's in 7th grade. Neil.
I went with the other option and guessed Thunderbird, and I guessed a 65 Thunderbird. But now that I think about it, I wish I'd said 59 because that sounds better to me than 69.
But you already wrote down 69?
65.
So you wrote down 65.
Okay.
You can't have the 69. That's mine.
No. That's all you. You own that.
He's so proud of it, too. I came up with 69. Kels is actually thinking, do I still want to be part of the podcast at this point?
Yeah.
On the fence. We'll roll the dice and see how it goes. I went with a Pontiac Firebird, 1967.
It was a Ford Thunderbird from 1959.
God. Even his guess would have been, oh my word.
So what's our score here?
Well, let's see. Let me count up Dave's score. 0.
Let's not be mean,
I'm sorry.
Neil.
I'm sorry. That's uncalled for.
Let's keep it simple.
We got 0 for Davo, Kels with 10, and Neil with 40.
With what now?
How much?
40.
40. So you're 4 for 4, and your guess on the car would have been right. On the year of the car.
Well, I mean, technically my first guess was wrong, but as soon as you said 69, I'm like, oh, shoot, I bet it was 59. So
Because, of course.
And this is a do or die episode for you, right, Davo?
I would be in a nearly insurmountable hole
Okay.
should I lose this.
Ornithology is our next category.
Oh,
Bird is the word.
I was hoping that would have been the answer to a question I was on it.
We're going to look at some of the science of birds. This first question: the closest living relative to the T-Rex is this bird.
I'm locked in.
See, I'm on my heels, so I'm a little gun shy. I'm starting to second and third guessing myself, but I'm going to stick with my first guess. I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
I think Kels locked in first this time.
I did, Andrew. I went with that proverbial yard strutter. I went with the chicken.
With the chicken. Davo?
Well, I wrote down my answer, then I thought about that proverbial yard strutter, the chicken. But I went with something slightly larger and said the ostrich.
Oh.
Okay. And Neil?
I also went with the ostrich, but I don't think it's right because they don't really look anything like a T-Rex.
Well, I got to tell you, Neil, neither do chickens, and that's actually the closest living relative to T-Rex. So Kels is the only right answer here.
Thanks, back of the Wheaties box.
So,
And actually, it's interesting if you Google this, There is a university that's done this experiment, which can't believe they got funding for. They put a big tail on a chicken to watch how it moved so they could better understand how a T-Rex moved. I'm not making that up.
Yeah, that's how I would have played it.
Yes.
Give me those grant dollars. So I was initially concerned about the Jurassic Park scenario of if we clone these dinosaurs, we clone a T-Rex, we're all dead. Now I'm not so worried because chicken is delicious. We would just eat them.
Yeah. You know how big a T-Rex was?
Yeah.
You would chow down on a T-Rex leg with a little bit of Cajun spice. Mm.
You put me in a yard full of chickens, I don't fear for my life. You put me in a yard full of T-Rexes. You don't love me.
All right. This next question is definitely one of my favorites. This is a genuine question that has been scientifically proven. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Okay.
You're seriously asking this question.
Seriously asking this question. And I looked at two different sources to make sure that this was a question I could ask.
Well, if one of them is Mad Magazine, I'm throwing a flag. I'm locked in.
To be clear, it was Mad and Cracked.
Oh, well, there you got the...
Yeah.
There's your double-blind study.
Exactly.
I'm locked in.
So, Neil, what's your answer?
I always thought this was kind of a dumb question because it's obvious which one it has to be, because the mutation that would do the last little bit to make something the chicken would have to be in the egg, because once the egg is laid, it's genetics. That's when when it's fertilized, that's when the genetics come together. So it just always seemed dumb to me that it could be the chicken. So I answered the egg came first.
And Davo?
I said chicken because I'm dumb.
Kels, you want to follow that up?
I went with the egg just because I wrote chicken for the last answer.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of that. The answer is indeed the egg. In the words of Neil deGrasse Tyson, the egg laid by a bird that was not a chicken. And I could give you an explanation of how that works, but actually Neil did an absolutely spot-on explanation of why that works.
Well done.
And for further proof, for a little brain nougat, the first hard-shelled egg that could be laid on land rather than remaining in water appeared more than 312 million years ago. Chickens are only 8,000 years old.
Oh.
1,000 years.
The more you know.
No.
All right, next question. His book, The Birds of North America, is considered to be one of the greatest contributions to not only ornithology, but the world of art. Name the author.
Locked in.
I'm locked in.
Wow. Well, do you guys want to say your answer all at the same time?
Yes.
Sure.
All right, on a 3 count. And a 1, and a 2.
Hold on. Are we saying it on 3 or on go?
We got to get this right.
We kind of had a beautiful spontaneous jazz thing going there, and I'm gonna say I do a beat lead in, so I won't actually say 3. So you follow the beats, so it's perfect. So I won't mess up the harmony. Let's try that again.
This is gonna be awesome.
Ready? And a 1, and a 2.
Audubon.
James Audubon.
See, I'm the only one who tried to harmonize.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready for the big time. It is John James Audubon. You all get that one right.
Hooray!
Well done. And number 4, the last question in our ornithology. This bird is the first to be domesticated.
I'm locked in. I'm not proud of it, but oh my god.
I'm locked in.
I am locked in.
All right, Neil, your response.
My response, I narrowed it down to two, and if it was one of them, then you would basically have a possibility of chicken for three different answers. I didn't think it was that, so I went with goose.
Kels?
Dude, I just wrote down parrot.
Why would you domesticate a parrot?
All right, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, why? I don't know
come
why
back
people
to
do
that.
I didn't want to go with chicken again, and it was the only thing on my mind.
Sorry.
I'm telling you, fried T-Rex would be delicious.
Just imagine somebody wrangling parrots. All right, Davo.
Well, much like my compatriots, I was thinking, there's no way Andy, our guy, would have 3 questions on ornithology about a chicken. So, I put down canary. Just cause.
There might be a reason why Neil's winning. It's goose.
Are you serious?
You can eat a goose.
You can eat a canary.
You don't want to eat a
That's
parrot.
right,
It can talk to you. You're not going to eat something that can say hi to you.
And if you want to feed
steps out of line,
if you want to feed a family of 6, are you going to go kill like 30 canaries or 1 goose?
well, I was thinking my thought process. I've thought about geese, but I honestly didn't think that of geese as domesticated. I was thinking Canadian honker, wild goose. So I felt like they would be more difficult to domesticate because they're mean and they're kind of awful birds. So I then moved to birds that can do something for us that are easy to catch. And I thought of that wonderful police track canary in a coal mine. There was a little bit of logic behind it, but it was faulty.
Could I ask a question of you guys? Could you say the word that is the science of birds again, slowly?
Ornithology.
Ornithology?
Ornithology?
It's ornithology,
Ornithology,
right?
I thought. Ornithology?
No,
That's the study of O.J. Simpson.
I'm not putting it J.
or certain or
It's ornithology.
yeah, it's nithology, ORNI.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if I was mishearing or what.
So how do you pronounce it?
Nah, I think they were saying it wrong.
Ornithology.
Ornithology. Okay. Isn't that what I was saying?
It sounded like you were saying ornithology.
Ornithology.
It's hard to.
You're right. I'm not much of a reader.
What we don't expect our teachers to be readers.
Come on.
Those books are pretty useless.
Speaking of useless books, let's move to the category of entertainment.
Well, why don't we find out the scores?
Oh, wait, scores. Sorry, yeah, right. How's Davo doing?
Well, Davo has a score now.
You didn't have to say it like that.
Of 10.
I'm glad you did.
Kels is 40 and Neil has 70.
I'm lurking in the weeds. I'm coming for both of you. It's going to be a trivia RKO out of nowhere.
Our next category is entertainment. First question. Tippi Hedren was made famous by her role in Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, and her daughter made her first television appearance in the 1976 miniseries Once an Eagle. What is her daughter's name?
Locked in.
I have written down 2 words that combine to form a name. I feel like when we do these recordings, Neil is sitting in his chair like a poker professional with his headphones on and sunglasses, still like a statue, waiting for us to get done with our tomfoolery so he can step on our throat.
I'm just playing a game on my phone.
Oh, wow. That's even better.
I'm locked in.
Neil, if you can take a break from your other video game for a minute, what was your answer?
This is just one of those things that I heard a long time ago, and it just stuck with me because I always loved the name Tippi Hedren. So I Googled her once, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Her daughter is Melanie Griffith.
Oh, well, mother.
You dated her in the high school, didn't you? You fly dog, you.
Okay.
Oh.
You knew all along.
Davo, what's your answer?
Go to Kels real quick. I need a second.
Kels, what's your answer?
All right. Well, I wrote down Michelle Pfeiffer. I had no idea.
Okay.
Please say her name again.
Michelle
I
Pfeiffer.
like Can you do requests?
Sure.
Can you do that name as the pickup artist?
Yeah, reading this graduation list, I see Michelle Pfeiffer was summa cum laude. Yeah. Congratulations to her. Yeah, pretty sure she'd be foxy when she grows. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, God. Oh man.
That's just winning across the board.
Oh.
Dava, what's your answer? I want to hear your
Queen
answer.
Latifah.
What did you say?
No. What?
Queen Latifah.
You did not.
You wrote down Queen Latifah.
I did because
Dana Owens.
You
I wrote
punted.
down Queen Latifah.
Dana Owens
punted.
was your answer.
Oh, I wrote down. I did not punt. I
my
kneeled
God.
down on the ball.
Yeah, you did.
You coughed up the
It was
ball.
4th and long.
It's
game.
Melanie
I didn't
Griffith.
cough it up.
Melanie.
It's Melanie
Yeah,
Griffith.
okay. Why don't you just change your answers on these questions to whatever Neil says?
It does kind of seem.
I
All
missed
right.
one.
Davo, this next one has to do with cartoons, so this might be closer to your,
I'm still
Your IQ
I'm still
level.
shook by Pfeiffer. I'm dying.
What cartoon? Are you ready? I'm sorry. You ready? You want to take a minute?
Yeah, I'm fine.
No, he's not.
I'm good. Bring it on, man. I'm
I have this
ready.
vision of Davo right now in a corner. Come on, cut me. Cut me. I can't go in.
I can't go in if you don't
You gotta
cut me.
cut me. What?
I'm ready.
You're ready. Okay.
Yes, ready.
What cartoon father is often found fighting a giant chicken named Ernie?
I'm locked in.
I am locked in.
I'm locked in. I don't know this one, so I had to make an educated guess.
Oh my God, that means he's got it right.
All right. I have a feeling Davo and Kels knows this, so I'm going to go with Neil first because I want to hear their pain if you got it right.
Okay, so this is one of those shows that comes up in trivia a lot that I've never seen. I was looking at where I wrote down the answer to the last question, and it said Griffith. And I know that the father from the Family Guy is Peter Griffin, I hope. So I wrote Griffin. I don't know why he'd be fighting a chicken, but that's my logic. At least he's a cartoon father.
Can we just go to the
Davo?
next one? Let's go to the next one. He's hurt.
Peter Griffin.
Kels?
No, I want.
It's Peter Griffin.
Yes, that's correct.
I've never seen it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't imagine him fighting a giant
He's
chicken.
done it on
It just-
multiple occasions.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
They just start swinging on sight.
It's just amazing. It starts over a coupon that's expired. I can't make that up. It's beautiful.
It also seemed like a thing that Andy would do to have a Griffith and then a Griffin in the next question.
Purposefully, too, because to add confusion, the reason why I did this, Melanie Griffith's father is Peter. And Peter Griffith has a daughter named
Meg.
Meg. How confusing is all that? So, number 3. This Washington Irving character has been played by Will Rogers, Bing Crosby, Jeff Goldblum, Ed Begley Jr., Johnny Depp, and William H. Macy.
Locked in.
Who is he?
I'm locked in as well.
I'm locked in.
All right. Kels, why don't you start?
I went with Ichabod Crane.
Davo?
Ichabod Crane.
Okay. I don't know what that was, but all right. And then
That's from the Bing Crosby version.
was it?
He's saying it's not an exact. It's more of an homage. Okay.
And Neil?
I figured it was either Rip Van Winkle or Ichabod Crane, and Rip Van Winkle doesn't seem to have any bird connection, so I went with Ichabod.
It is Ichabod Crane. Our last entertainment question. With George Lucas as its executive producer, this 1986 sci-fi movie garnered 7 Golden Raspberry nominations and resulted in the chairman of MCA getting fired. What is that movie?
Locked in. I'm
also locked in.
That's locked in with authority.
I don't know how I was allowed to watch this. Looking back as a grown man, I was like, yeah, Ma, we need to talk. So much I didn't understand, and I'm so glad.
I'm locked in also.
Oh, okay. I think Davo locked in first. It was hard to tell. Go ahead, Davo.
Howard the Duck.
Howard the
Duck.
Kels?
I also went with Howard the Duck.
And Neil.
I said Howard the Duck.
Wow. Okay. Made that a little too easy.
Ran the table.
Wow.
I'm dying to hear what the scores are.
Well, Davo, you should be proud of yourself. You had the rare feat of quadrupling your score with one round. You went from 10 to 40.
Booyah.
Kels has 70 and Neil has 110.
If I may step in for just a moment.
You've already stepped in and walked over. Okay.
Just shush. Now that we're at halftime, I wanted to point out a couple of things. Number one, Kels and my score added together equals Neil's. So obviously it's a very competitive game.
I noticed that, but didn't want to point it out.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, it needs to be pointed out.
Thanks for sharing.
Secondly, I would like to mention that we have a Patreon. You can check us out there to help support this wonderful show and help Neil further dominate in his trivia universe that we've got here. We're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube, and we're on all the social media networks. Tweet at me, at Ladlebrain. Tell me how much you know more than I do. Please. Andy, continue.
The next category is sport.
Oh, man. I don't even feel as good about it anymore. Neil's going to know.
Yeah, last week he got them all right.
Yeah, after last week,
Neil got them all right.
After last week, I feel a lot better.
He has no weakness
about
in his game anymore. He's Michael Jordan out here.
It's like he noticed his weakness a few weeks ago and learned all the sport. Question number 1. 2 of the 3 best scoring combinations in this sport takes their name from our featured feathered creatures.
Locked in?
I am locked in.
See, the end of that question's got onomatopoeia. That just shows I'm a professional.
That's actually alliteration, but that's okay.
Oh, son of a...
That's why you teach. That's why you teach history.
You silently judge, Neil. That's what you do. And I'm probably on double secret probation again.
I kind of want to give Kels a hint, but that would be detrimental to my game.
Really? Aren't you beating me by a whole nother player?
Wow.
See, if it was Davo, I would give him a hint.
Oh, my gosh. I don't feel as bad anymore.
Because you could get it right, and I'd still be more than twice what you are.
Oh, you are a cold-blooded assassin.
Locked in.
Everybody locked in? Okay. Neil, why don't you start us off?
I hope that you're referring to golf with the birdies and the eagles.
Davo?
I went with golf with birdies and eagles and albatrosses and all that stuff.
Kels.
I lucked into golf.
Very good. It's golf. Well done, birdie and eagle. That was a hard one to
What is an
actually
albatross?
come up with the wording for.
Albatross
It's
is
not no.
There's an albatross in golf. There's an albatross.
There's not an albatross.
There is an albatross.
You can't score an albatross. What's an albatross?
I believe
You
it's.
are making stuff up.
I think it's either 3 or 4 under par. It's not common because most holes are par fives. So it's really
An
hard
albatross
to
is a
score.
double eagle, which is a 3 under par on a single
Yeah.
hole.
Oh,
Oh, there's
So
also
you can
a
really-
condor.
You can only do it on a par 5. You have
Par
to
five,
you have to do
yeah.
a par 5 with 2 shots. I guess technically you could do it on a par 4, but then it would also be a hole in one.
That's a hole in one. See, I do know some stuff.
I'm impressed.
Neil, can you edit that to make it sound like I knew what I was talking about?
Yeah, I'll pick that up for you.
Question 2. This sport was introduced to the United States in 1875, and although it's currently banned in the city of Chicago, regular tournaments are still held in Shady Hills, Florida.
is this on the north side or south side of Chicago? Because I can think of one for the south side.
I'm locked in with something. That is a real answer, not a punt.
I am locked in.
Why not? I'm also locked in.
All right, Davo locked in first.
Well, I was very stumped with this one because I couldn't think of a reason why this particular game that I locked in, this sport that I locked in, would be banned in Chicago. That really threw me for a loop. So I stuck with a sport that sticks with the theme, and I went with badminton.
I believe Neil came in second with his answer.
This is one that I actually hope is banned everywhere, and there isn't really a tournament. So I went with cockfighting, which is not really a sport anyway.
Oh, man, I didn't even think of that.
And Kels.
Well, given the usual theme of the show, I went with Davo, which means we're probably both wrong. I went with badminton.
I honestly, as I was scrambling for sports, that was something different than the things you'd leap to. I had not thought of badminton. The answer to this one is pigeon racing.
What the what and the where?
What?
Yeah. And in fact, the Grand Prix of pigeon racing is held every year in Brazil.
Grand Prix.
The Grand Prix, that's what it's called, the Grand Prix of pigeon racing.
It's the Grand Prix de Squab.
I'd like to see the jockeys.
All right, let's see if we have better luck with the third question. Nicknamed the Bird, this Detroit Tigers pitcher was famous for antics like grooming the mound and talking to the ball.
Oh, I know who this is.
Be nice if we can get a time frame on this guy.
That's a fair one. I want to say, without looking it up, and I will look it up to make sure, but I would say the late 70s, early 80s.
I'm locked in.
I have an answer. I know who this guy is, but I cannot remember his first name. I can see what he looks like in my head. But I have an answer, and I am locked in.
Sometimes it's really nice to know that you have no chance of getting the answer, so then you can just guess and then go back to your cell phone game.
Sorry, we're keeping you. I have to admit, all the next questions all have something to do with getting Neil to say 6-4 again.
6-4. Yeah.
Easy would be proud of you, Neil.
Well, that made my day.
I love the deadpan, and that made my day.
It's our own personal Cronkite. I'm locked in.
All right. Davo?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just was beating my high score. I wrote down another. I didn't know this guy's name. I know of him, but I wrote down the name of another pitching head case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his name was Turk Wendell.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You remember him?
I do.
He would brush his teeth between each inning.
Yep.
He would chew black licorice. He insisted on the number 13. It was crazy.
That's sick. The black licorice thing? That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah, big, like the wad of big league chew size black licorice.
All right. Let's moving on. Don't even talk about that anymore. Kels?
I had no idea. I went with pitching great Henry Rowengarter. He pitched for the Cubs.
No idea who that. Really? When?
In the movie Rookie of the Year.
I was like, what the?
He won you a World Series, so you're welcome.
I was going to say some of us went to that movie just to see us win the World Series. The movie was trash, but you could kind of squint and pretend. And Neil,
I went with another pitcher that I think is about the same time.
wanted to get this right. Yes.
Who I know did some unusual things on the mound, and his name was Doc Ellis.
Oh, the answer is Mark Fidrich.
Oh, I knew it was. I was going to say Illich, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Isn't Doc Ellis the one that was on LSD when he did a no-hitter?
A no-hitter, yeah.
Yes. Yes, he was.
He was good and gone out there.
In baseball, we call that tripping balls.
At one point, he thought that. At one point, he thought the umpire was Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
Probably was, though, to be honest.
I call that a strike. Hollaroo.
Sock it to me. Do you have a Nixon, Kels?
No, I don't. But if you like my body and you think I'm sexy, come on, baby, let me know.
Okay, now I'm kind of creeped out.
That's really well done.
Oh,
that's really well done. Question number 4. Ken the Hawk Harrelson ended his broadcasting career by calling the White Sox 6-1 loss to the Cubs on September 24th, just 3 days from this recording. What piece of baseball equipment is he often credited for inventing when technically, in fact, he only reintroduced it while playing for the Red Sox?
I'm locked in.
I hope Neil's right, because I'm gonna throw my mic across the room.
Neil skunks both of you on a Red Sox White Sox trivia question. I put it to you, game over. That's the atom bomb.
I'm feeling that, but I've locked in with an answer.
Kels?
I have no idea. I'm going to write something down, though. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm locked in.
All right, I want to take this. I'm going to take this in reverse order just to keep the suspense going. Kels, what did you write down?
Oh, it didn't make a lot of sense, and when I say it, it's going to make even less sense, but I just wrote down a batting glove.
Davo, what did you write down?
Rosin bag. Why am I getting a giggle? Kel's answer was even worse than mine.
Because I don't even know what that is.
Neil, what is your...
I know what a batting glove is.
Neil, what is your answer?
So back a few episodes ago, I wrote questions about game shows. And if you recall, one of those questions was about a show called the Home Run Derby. And I don't know if it's something I read when I was reading about the Home Run Derby. I don't know if I threw it out as a trivia nugget or not, but it mentioned how some of the players were using, I think, golf gloves to bat, and it wasn't a common practice at the time. And so I went with batting glove based on the research I did for that podcast.
I feel so much better about my answer since Neil said all that.
The Hawk wore a white golf glove when he batted. reintroducing the batting glove to baseball?
That is a bunch of horse bees.
Why? so, so people just went a long time without using batting gloves.
I double checked this.
In
And
between
I should have written down my notes, but I wrote a different nougat into my notes. But there's a theory that there was a batter using it as early as 1901, but baseball did prove that in the 1940s, a couple guys were using a batting glove, maybe as early as the 1950s, and that completely disappeared until the Hawk started wearing this white golf glove, because the Hawk actually was a really good golf player. When he retired from baseball, he tried to play professional golf before he went into the booth. And he is credited.
Really?
A lot of people credit him for inventing the golf or the batting glove, when in fact technically he reintroduced it, but really he kind of brought it to the modern game. Everybody wears a batting glove today because of the Hawk. So what's our score after sport?
After sport, Davo has 50, Kels has 90, and Neil has 130.
All right, on to history. You have a degree in history, right?
I do.
Yeah, so you're golden. This is a history
Totally.
category.
I never do poorly at these.
Number 1. This bird was hunted to extinction in North America due to it being used as food in the 19th century. The last one died at the Cincinnati Zoo on September 1, 1914.
Locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right, I just wrote down the wrong answer, and I know it's wrong, but I'm just really interested to hear what the right answer is.
All right, Neil locked in first again. What do you got for us, Neil?
There's a great book by one of my favorite authors called A Short History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson, and he tells this story, and it is the passenger pigeon.
Davo?
I wrote down dodo because I'm a dodo.
And Kels.
It explains so much, but I also wrote down dodo bird. I knew it was wrong. I don't even think those were in North America, but yeah.
They weren't.
Yeah.
I just couldn't think of another bird.
Yeah, Neil got this one too. On to question number 2. This invasive species was brought to America on March 6, 1890 by New York pharmaceutical manufacturer Eugene Schliflin to honor William Shakespeare. What is the bird? And for a bonus point, what is the play?
I'm locked in.
Locked in.
Sure, I'm locked in.
All right. Davo, you start.
Starlings.
And
And I have no idea about the play.
Okay.
No clue.
Neil.
I said swallow.
And the play?
How about The Tempest?
And Kels.
Fly, fly, little starling.
And the play?
And, I'm pretty sure it's not a play, but going with that, I'm just gonna say Silence of the Lambs.
Okay. Neil goes down. Neil goes down. It's Starling.
Woohoo!
Silence of the Lambs, not correct.
No, Henry IV, Part 1.
Oh. I was just checking. You don't want to leave points on the board.
So it's weird because the quote from the play is, "Nay, I'll have a starling. It shall be taught to speak nothing but Mortimer. It puts the lotion on its skin." So it's funny that. Yeah, I mean, that's really creepy. I never actually even made that connection. Okay, on to question number 3. What service was a bird doing in World War I that earned it the French Croix de Guerre with palm for heroic service? For a bonus point, what was its act of valor?
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in as well.
I'm locked in.
Okay, I think Neil locked in first. What's your answer, Neil?
I was trying to think what birds are good for besides food. And I was thinking about a carrier pigeon, so I said they're delivering messages. And so perhaps the act of valor was delivering a message after getting shot.
Davo
I also said message delivery, but I couldn't pinpoint an exact act, so I did not answer the bonus.
and Kels.
Yeah, I just went with carrying messages.
It was indeed delivering messages. It's a homing pigeon delivering messages. On October of 1918, a blue check hen named Cher Ami delivered 12 important messages during the Battle of Verdun. Its final message, she delivered a message despite being shot. The crucial message was found in a capsule hanging from a ligament of her shattered leg. It saved 194 U.S. soldiers of the 77th Infantry Division in the famous Lost Battalion of World War I.
Oh.
So Neil actually got a chunk of the bonus point. He said delivered a message despite it being shot.
Yeah, you get full credit for that. In my book.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. Yep. 2 bonus points for Neil. And to our last question of history. At least 6 of these are kept at the Tower of London at all times to ensure the safety of the kingdom.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Locked in.
All right. Neil?
I just saw a story in the news about these a few days ago. I think they keep ravens there.
Davo.
I said falcon.
Kels?
One with eagle.
It's ravens.
Wow.
Neil gets the point.
Of course it is.
I'm really sorry, guys. What are the scores?
Going into the last category, we've got Davo with 80, Kels with 120, and Neil with 162.
All right. They'll never see you coming, Davo.
I mean, I'm still lurking in the weeds.
Right.
Lurking.
Birding is our last category.
Birding?
Interesting things about people who look at birds.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry.
By the time I got to the birding category, I was kind of wishing I hadn't picked birds.
Okay. I felt the same way about fish. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I just like the way you said that. Interesting things about people who look at birds. It sounds like it should have been on Parks and Rec.
If there's anything more interesting than actually looking at birds, it's looking at people who look at birds.
Okay. And I want to clarify, this is really more about birds than the people looking at birds. These are facts that birders would probably know.
Like the word, potentially.
In the category of birding, this is our first question. How did the mockingbird get its name?
Locked in.
Neil locked in first again.
Yeah, I think they're called mockingbirds because they mock other birds' songs, or they sing like other birds.
Davo?
I wrote down that they are called mockingbirds because they have been known to hassle people. Like if you're walking by their net. Hold on. I'm going to expand my answer here. You know, you walk by their nests or you walk near them, they will swoop by and caw at you in something of a mocking fashion as a way to ward you off.
Kels?
I put that their calls were similar to other birds.
Yeah, actually, they get their name from mimicking the sounds of other birds. All right, then.
So that's points for me and Kels?
Correct. You and Kels both got that.
Wait, you mean I got it wrong? Oh, wait, it's this show. Yeah.
It's just a rough patch, man. You'll be all right.
Question number 2. What is the top speed of the greater roadrunner? I'll say 5. I'm going to say within 5.
Plus or minus 5 miles.
Plus or minus 5. Davo.
Miles an hour, kilometers an hour?
Miles per hour. And maybe we can all agree Davo plus or minus 50.
Well, let's go. I take that.
I have no idea, but I locked in.
I said I'm locked in.
All right, let's mix it up and pretend that Kels locked in first. Kels, what's your
I
answer?
think I actually
Oh,
did.
did you? Okay. Thought it was my
Because we're not
imagination.
pretending.
I just said 51 miles per hour.
51 for Kels. Davo,
I said 25.
25 for Davo and Neil.
45. Just a wild guess.
Nobody got this right. Davo got the closest. It's actually only 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, I knew they weren't
feel
that
lied
fast.
to.
Yeah. You've been lied to. You've been
I feel really lied
Yeah.
to.
Question 3. This bird shares its name with a clock.
Locked in?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Neil?
I'm hoping that it lends its name to the clock. I went with cuckoo.
Davo?
I went with a Timex bird. No, I went with a cuckoo.
And Kels?
I also went with the feeling that you get when you get Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, it's the European common cuckoo. Yeah, well done. Our final question for birding before we go to our last big category. We have to make your bets. Lots riding on this. Question 4. This bird has the largest brain relative to its body size.
I'm locked in.
These relative to their body size questions are always a little tricky for me. So, but I've locked in with an answer, but I feel like it's got the scent of trickster on it.
I'm locked in.
Davo, I think you locked in first.
I did. I said the crow.
Kels?
The crows are pretty smart.
Yeah, I can see that.
I just went with the hummingbird.
Oh, interesting choice.
Because hummingbirds are pretty small.
And Kels.
Or Neil.
All right, and Neil. Sorry.
That was
Sorry.
Yeah.
If Kels gets 2 answers, I get two answers.
I ended up picking a parrot. I can be more specific if I have to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, Davo is right. The answer is crows. The answer is crows. The answer is crows.
Hey!
up is down, left is east. Well
I
played,
got
sir.
a trivia nougat about birds,
Okay.
Oh,
and I this is probably fairly well known, but an ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain.
I did not know
I'd
that.
heard that before.
So we're getting ready for our final category after the end of regular questioning. It's time to place your bets. What are the scores?
Davo, by getting that last one right, you have a chance. Because otherwise,
That's what you're saying there.
I would have more than doubled your score. But you ended up with 100. Kels has 140, and I have 182.
All right. Place your bets. The final category is sports teams.
Bet is placed.
I'm locked in with a bet.
I'm locked in.
Okay.
I feel good about this.
If you count Major League sports franchises as being the NHL, the MLB, the NFL, and the NBA, there are 13 professional sports teams in the United States and Canada that use a bird as their team name. Pick 7 of them to win. And I want to be clear, you have to indicate the city and the league.
Okay, I've got 7 that I'm pretty confident on.
I'm locked in. I've got my answers.
I'm just going to lock in with my 7 because I can't think of any others.
I mean, I got 9, so I can lock in with this.
All right, so everybody's locked in.
Locked in, man.
So we'll take these in alphabetical order, starting with the team name. The first one, Blackhawks, playing for the NHL in Chicago.
Whoa. I thought that was a Native American tribe.
It is that too, but it's also, per the Audubon Society, a type of bird.
No way.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, you learn
The
something
more
new.
you know. Yeah.
Da, 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 da. No, that's intel.
Second one is the Blue Jays playing in the MLB for Toronto.
Got that one.
I got it.
Got it.
Got that one.
The Cardinals playing for the MLB in St. Louis.
Got it.
Didn't got it.
Got it.
The Cardinals playing for the NFL in Arizona.
I got that one.
Got it.
Got it.
The Ducks playing for the NHL in Anaheim.
Got it.
Got the Ducks.
Didn't get it.
The Eagles playing for the NFL in Philadelphia.
Got it.
Got it.
Got it.
The Falcons playing for the NFL in Atlanta.
Got it.
Got it.
The Hawks playing for the NBA in Atlanta.
Got it.
Didn't get it.
Got it.
The Orioles playing for the MLB in Baltimore.
Got it.
Did
Got
not
it.
get it.
The Penguins playing for the NHL in Pittsburgh.
Nope.
Got it.
Did not get it.
The Pelicans playing for the NBA in New Orleans.
Nope.
Got it.
Did not write that one down.
The Ravens playing for the NFL in Baltimore.
Got that.
Didn't get it.
And the Seahawks playing for the NFL in Seattle.
Got that one too.
Seahawks.
Got it.
And to clarify, because I found this as a mistake on a couple places I looked. The Red Wings of the NHL and the Raptors of the NBA, Toronto, are not birds. They're not related to birds. So if you have those two on your list, they're wrong.
Well, Red Wings are shoes,
Correct.
and Raptors are dinosaurs.
Right. And I saw those referenced on as I was trying to come up with this answer.
Well, there is a group of birds, the birds of prey, that are called raptors, but obviously since they have a dinosaur mascot, that's the one they were aiming for.
Right. They have a dinosaur mascot.
Yeah.
So it comes down to what you bet. It seems like all of you got 7.
I got 7.
I got 9.
I got 10.
Well done, all. What did you bet? We'll start with Davo.
I bet the house. I bet 100.
Okay, that brings you up to 200.
Kels.
I bet 140.
It gets you up to 280.
And then Neil.
I bet 100, which gets me to 282.
Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
Thanks to that bird getting
That's
shot.
a bonus point.
it was the bonus point. That
the
stupid chicken
bonus
getting
point?
shot in World War One.
I think it was a pigeon.
Damn bird.
It said it was a hen. Was it a hen?
No, it wasn't a hen.
It said it was a hen. It said
It-
blue
well,
hen.
No, it's a homing pigeon.
I
But
heard-
a type of homing pigeon. Yeah.
It's a type of
homing pigeon. Yeah,
So it was a homing pigeon.
correct.
I can't even get an answer that I know that I heard right today. Gah.
No Morris Day in the Time references, man. No. America. Have you heard?
Well, thank you very much, Andy, for those very challenging and wonderful questions for Kels and Neil. I personally thought they were terrible.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Everybody can have an off day. And today was my off day. Neil, by 2 points, by a stupid pigeon getting shot in World War One.
A war hero pigeon.
A war
saved
hero pigeon.
192 American lives in the Lost Battalion.
My apologies.
Hey, Bill, I don't want you to be too hard on yourself because your score, by any measure, is a pretty respectable score.
Well, I appreciate that.
200 points is nothing to sneeze at.
Well, it is significantly less than 282. So I have a lot of work to do to tie up the trivia tilt, but I will endeavor to tie this up. So Neil, you have 2 wins. Kels has a win, and I am trailing behind with no wins. Neil has
streaking for it.
Yeah. Neil has the inside track to be the best ladler of the ladlers.
Is it just not that I'm keeping score, but haven't you been last in all 3 episodes of the Tilt so far?
I have been last in all 3 episodes.
So even if we were doing a point system, you would be pretty far behind.
In big trouble.
Yeah.
Big trouble.
Well,
So I'm essentially eliminated. So next week's going to be fun.
I'll be rooting for you, Davo.
Thanks. Well, Andy, it was wonderful having you. Thank you so much for this.
I always have a lot of fun with you guys. Thanks for having me.
And you are welcome back anytime, either as a player or a questioner.
Just say the word. I am here like a homing pigeon.
Well, the word is bird, as we all know. So we are on Twitter at LadleBrain. We are on YouTube. You can catch us there. We are on Facebook. You got our page coming up. Come check us out at our page at Brain Ladle Productions. We have our various and sundry email addresses. We have Neil at brainladle.com, Kels at brainladle.com, Davo at brainladle.com. We also have a website. What's the website, Neil?
BrainLadleTrivia.com.
So we're everywhere. You don't have to just find us on the YouTubes or one platform. We're on Spotify. We're on all your aggregators. Come listen to us. We also have a Patreon. If you have a few dollars a month you'd like to throw our way to help improve the show, or help Neil buy more cocaine, whatever.
Wow.
We'll cut that. Take 2. Sorry.
Kind of bitter.
We also, it got dark.
Got dark quickly.
Yes. So from everybody here at the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast, this is Davo with Andy.
Good night, Ladle Brainers.
Kels.
How you doing, Chewbacca?
And Neil.
And that's the way it is.
Signing off.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That was great.
Somebody called me Walter Cronkite earlier, so I thought I would just go with the Cronkite.
That's fantastic.
The preceding podcast was presented by Brain Ladle Productions. All rights reserved.
It's just a game, baby.